So our next contributor is Gail Grinnell, who is an artist, visual-based artist represented locally by the Francine Cedars Gallery. She was born in Richland, Washington in 1950 to parents who migrated there to work at Hanford in the early 40s. Her art has been featured at the Bellevue Art Museum and several galleries throughout the state. In addition, she has been awarded several artist residencies at foundations in Wyoming, Ireland, and Spain. She is also a graduate of the University of Washington.
Well, I spent a day trying to respond to a prompt of, what affected growing up in the Cold War era in Richland have on my life and my work. So I have a couple little paragraphs, and I'll read those to you, but the end result is that I'm really amazed that I'm still alive. So, I think it produced some kind of, nihilistic kind of lifestyle or something for quite a while. And that kind of patterned thinking has just affected me all through life, and in the way I work too, in the working in short bursts and collaging. I don't have a lot of patience for long-term anything. So anyway, I'm just going to read these couple little paragraphs and to show you how I came to that, because that's what I finally decided. Oh, okay. So my parents had deep roots in a Minnesota farming community. The Great Depression and World War II and a couple of years of drought prompted my father to hire on as a heavy equipment machinist at the Hanford Works in the early 40s. So I grew up with these former farmers who stockpiled canned peaches, new made, and fixed everything, and loved the land and the river. They never spoke about the bombs dropped on the people of Japan or the growing supply of nuclear warheads stored in our hometown. I never recall anyone talking about these things directly, but there was an atmosphere of secrecy and threat that I remember as a child, even as that same threat was trivialized by the culture that was there in that time and place. There was and still is the infamous mushroom cloud on the bomb casing, as the high school mascot, and the endless graphic representations of all things nuclear everywhere you look. The copy of the August 1945 Richland Villager, which was Hanford's local paper, which is here in this memorabilia in this exhibit, I found that in a drawer of my parents after they had died when I was cleaning out their house. I'd never seen it before. The headline is, "It's a Bomb." Secrets revealed. Again, they never spoke of this, but I did hear many stories, some about whole locomotives being buried in the desert, and never go until the supervisor goes first, because they'll just want to check the radiation on you. Or boats sunk in the river because they were radioactive. Or the sad recounting of the suicide of a whistleblower, a friend of my father, who lost his job for questioning unsafe practices at work. I remember visiting him in his dark apartment, and I remember the grief at his death. When I was born in 1950, Hanford was stockpiling nuclear warheads. The Cold War was in full swing. My childhood memories include air raid drills and whole town evacuations. These intermingled with the sewing and canning lessons, same part and parcel. It was the artificial Disney-esque company town, the constant backbeat of nuclear annihilation. I grew up feeling that we would all vaporize unexpectedly one day, and that no amount of hoarding, whether canned goods or warheads, would help anyone at all. My family's daily focus on nourishment and shelter, while waiting helplessly for the sky to fall at any moment, has prompted me to make certain choices in my work and life. I make my art incrementally, scaled to what I can handle physically in the moment. I like to complete something at each work session, and then assemble the parts into more complex constructions as they accumulate and circumstances evolve. In life in the studio, I'm likely to undertake things with uncertain outcomes if the immediate is compelling in some way. I want to see what will happen, and I don't feel waiting is ever a good choice. So I think that's a pretty good psychological profile of someone who thinks they're not going to have a tomorrow. And again, planning and thinking has provided ballast over the years, but it's the physical making that propels me along, of actually physically doing something. And I am surprised that we're all here, and every day is a surprise.